皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So today, guys, I think this might be another thing that probably, especially you guys listening to my podcast, was not concerned about at all. But still, I do want to make it very clear. Again, another series of this. But basically, recently I posted my second, basically it's my third Journey for Katana series. So the first one I went to Tozando and I didn't buy anything, and my second one I went to Yushinkan, bought my real first katana, and the third video I also again went to Tozando to buy another katana. And this real katana was from Tozando. It was really beautiful. I was able to actually do the test cutting in the video and such. And in the comments of that video, there was someone who told me that, Shogo, why are you using so much money on katana and not on the, for example, study to become a Japanese language instructor? Yeah, so I received such comments. I've seen people writing my comments, wow, Shogo, you're so rich. You know, we're not rich like you and everything, all that kind of stuff. And I really wanted to make a few things clear about this. Let me start from number one. First of all, the reason why I suddenly started buying so many katana, and yes, buying like Nodachi, everything I talked about in my podcast, you might think that, wow, Shogo, why are you using so much money all at once? Is because August, for my company, I can change this anytime if I want to, but it's the end of the fiscal year. I think this is how you say it in English. I looked it up and this is how you say it. So every year, I think this is the same in every country, but basically there's the timing. It might be chosen automatically for you in your country, but in Japan, each company can decide which month is the end of their fiscal year. And basically, at that month, you sum up all of the money, the profit you were able to make during that year, you submit it to the government. The government will calculate the amount of taxes, company taxes basically, that you have to pay, and you pay that money. Yeah. And basically, the taxes will be applied to the amount by percentage to the amount of profit that you made. So this is what every company would do in Japan, at least in Japan would do, is that right before this fiscal year ends or that month ends, they would try to use as much money as possible, so they need to pay less taxes. To try to avoid paying taxes, they try to use their money for new investment, for new businesses they want to do in the future at that point. Yeah, because if they were taking away like 25% of the profits they make, almost a really, really big chunk of money will be taken away from you. So you want to make that as smaller as possible, but also you don't want to use too much money, because if you use it, it does mean that it's gone, right? Yeah, so it's a really difficult balance to do. And to be honest, because I hardly buy anything, right? Because I am not, what should I say? You guys probably know if you've been listening to my podcast, but I'm not the kind of person who wants like a really expensive, brand bag, or I want to live in a huge house, or, I need this car, or I'm not that kind of person. I'm really seriously not a person who wants more things, And I don't even like to travel that much either. Living in my daily life, all the things I use my money for is maybe, well, of course, daily life, and maybe some books I want to read to make more videos, but that's also for making more videos. And the only reason why I'm buying so many katana is because I want to do more businesses or do more videos and make more content. So first of all, the first thing I want everyone to understand is that because it was the end of my fiscal year, I needed to use the amount of money. And the reason why I had so much money is because I haven't been using it. Which means I'm not super rich all of a sudden. No, it's because I've been saving all that money until the end of the fiscal year, so I can decide what to buy at the very last moment, because I have more choices, right? This is the reason why I haven't been using money from September to August last year. From last year, September, to this year's August, I haven't been using anything. At the last month of August, I started using a lot of money to be able to match the amount of taxes, try to adjust the amount of taxes I pay to the country, to Japan. So that's the reason why, number one. That's the reason why I suddenly started buying so many things. I want you to also understand that. And number two, I think a lot of people are misunderstanding this as well, but the katana, especially the one that I bought from Tozando, well, everything that I buy, as I said earlier, I talked about this a little bit already, but basically they're all investments for my new business. I'm not buying it as my personal hobby or anything. In that case, I don't need two katana. Again, as I explained in my video, my Journey for Katana series, that second real katana is for me to start my cultural experience facility in Kyoto. So basically, I want to start a hour and a half, maybe 2 hour experience of my guests being trying to practice how to draw and shoot the katana and try out the mat cutting and maybe doing a little bit of meditation. I'm not too sure. I haven't been able to fully decide what the whole experience would be like. But maybe do tea ceremony, I don't know yet. But absolutely though, one thing I know is that we would really need a real katana for the experience. So that is for that, basically, because I needed to use, a certain amount of money before the end of the fiscal year. And also I wanted to start this new business, so that's the reason why I bought my katana. So telling me that I really should be using more money for something else and not for this is like telling me that I'm being restricted of what kind of businesses I want to do in the future by a few of my viewers, right, on YouTube. So I don't think that is appropriate. What should I say? You can't tell a company owner to not use the money there, but use it on something else if that person wants to start a new business, right? I mean, if I was a stock company or something, it might be different, but I'm not. So that's one thing I want everyone to understand. I'm not buying it because I just simply want to, I want to feel rich and I want to be using all my money on random stuff. No, it's everything that I buy has a meaning. Otherwise, I'm the kind of person who could just sit down in the middle of nowhere and still feel happy about it, And the moment that I feel the happiest, except for when I'm spending time with my family, is when I'm training. And doing your training very hard doesn't take you that much money once you get all of the equipment you need, right? So I don't feel satisfied when I'm using a lot of money or buying stuff. That's not me, absolutely. So that's another thing I want you to understand. And number 3, I talked about this already again, and I was talking about number 2. But of course, obviously, the money that I received through Ko-fi, or I'm still receiving from Ko-fi, I will absolutely use all of it for me to study Japanese, how to teach Japanese and such. I made a promise and I'll absolutely be using all the money there. And I will, of course, be posting more pictures of myself, maybe going to school or doing live streams or videos of me explaining the things that I learned and all this kind of stuff. So I obviously will promise you that money that I got from Ko-fi, I will absolutely be using for that. The other money that I earn, I will be choosing what to use the money on, and I will be deciding the businesses that I'm going to be challenging myself in, and I will be the one taking the responsibility. So I just wanted to make it very clear, and that's the reason why I've been using a lot of money. I'm not suddenly rich. I've only been receiving a certain amount of money at the same pace, and it just was really big at the end of the fiscal year because I haven't been using it. And because I had so much money, I wanted to invest it for the new businesses that I wanted to do, and that's the end of the story. And of course, I am really looking forward to studying to become a Japanese language instructor too, and that is again another thing that I want to use my money on. So I will absolutely, of course, all of the it's actually exceeded 100% for my goal right now, so it's about 140% already. But again, I will be using all of my money for studying Japanese. So then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know there's a lot of people studying Japanese willing to come to Japan to travel, study, or work, or even train in our traditional culture and such. However, I am very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we're facing a lot of social problems, we are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I really want to dedicate my life trying to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and also help out the younger generations so they can have a brighter future. And to do this right now, again, my goal is to become a Japanese language instructor. I still have my Ko-fi page set up to receive extra donations for me to buy more study materials, take some of the smaller qualifications on how to teach Japanese and such. The Nihongo Kyoshi is the official qualification that's approved by the government, probably the biggest and most difficult one. But there are smaller ones that I could take as well. I think as a warm-up, I have to study for a full year before I can apply for the exam. So as a warm-up in between that 1 year, I might be taking some extra exams as well. I'll be using the money for that as well, because of course it takes money to take the exams and such. And of course, again, maybe buying new material, equipment for me to do better live streams or make more videos related to teaching or learning Japanese. So thank you so much. I hope you take a look at the description box and also the comment section to help me out. It'd be great if you can support me. Oh, you guys already have a lot, but thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day or good night. Bye-bye.